Hey Sass Squad, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you a really fun team that I was messing around with yesterday in GBL, and I did a really great run with it. Today I'm going to show you 4 sets from yesterday, and 2 of them being 5-0, so let's jump into it. Alright, so I'm actually running Cofagrigus, Shadow Nidoqueen, and Scrafty. So this is the first time I've really tried to run a team like this, but as you can see, this is a pretty decent start, and our opponent actually switches into a Shadow Dragonite. I'm going to try to get a Dark Pulse off here to get a shield potentially. And then I decide I'm going to I think I go for the second one. And then instead of staying in here, I think I switch to my Shadow Nidoqueen. And I'm trying to get a farm down on the Dragonite, knowing that it's a Shadow Dragonite in Great League, which, wow, I just decided to take the Dragon Claw, which does do a decent chunk, but nicely enough, they try to bring in their Nidoqueen here, and they don't have a shield. I didn't actually really understand that, because it completely just one-shot their Nidoqueen, and then they bring in a Shadow Hitmonchan, which is kind of spicy. I was thinking about not shielding this, but crazy enough, it's actually close combat, and it pays off, I guess, because I just power-up punch it down. GG, first game. Yeah, so this next battle we get a Scrafty lead. Not really ideal for us, but I'm actually going to switch to my Scrafty and try to line up this match. And they end up staying in, throwing a power-up punch. So I'm going to return the favor, and even though I'm probably going to get knocked out before them, I think it's alright. And they end up switching out anyways into their Drifloon. So, I mean their Drifloon, excuse me. And I threw a foul play. They're going to shield that because they don't want to take a boosted foul play, which makes sense. And I'm just going to take the move. Unfortunately, even though I get hit by that icy wind, I'm able to just barely live to get off more damage, and I think it's huge in this type of matchup. So here I'm going to bring in the coffin again, and I'm just going to farm down, I think. I'm going to shield a move and then farm down. And thankfully they actually do try to go for the nuke move, so we don't get an attack debuff. And here, I probably should have just thrown a Shadow Ball, but I threw a Dark Pulse. Judge me. And they end up having a Mew in the back, so this might just be a win, just because the poison jab damage will add up with the defense drop from Poison Fang, and they don't even shield the first one. I'm going to be able to shield their Surf and farm them before they can do anything, really. And at this point, it's pretty much game, because I can throw a Poison Fang, and they don't even shield. GG. Alright, so in our next battle, we get a Sylveon lead, and I'm just going to stay in on the Sylveon, try to get off 2 Shadow Balls at least, and try to line up Nidoqueen with the Sylveon. Because in this scenario, we will have both their shields, and they'll only get 1 shield from us. Or we win the lead if they don't want to commit a second shield here. But more than likely, they're going to want to just shield this and farm me down. And that's pretty much what they're going for. But oh wait, I actually switched out. I guess I thought there's a good chance maybe Nidoqueen has had some decent matchups for whatever switches in, and I'll have energy lead. And it's crazy because we actually get an Azumarill. And I think I just farm at this point. Yeah, so I have all this energy on my Nidoqueen. I can farm their Sylveon, and then they have a Meganium in the back. So Nidoqueen pretty much just destroys my opponent's line. So that was a little lucky, I suppose. It's just on our end. We got a great matchup for the entire team. Wow. Yeah, that whole team must struggle with Nidoqueens. Alright, so the next battle we get a Skarmory lead, and I'm going to stay in on this as well. So the main reason why I'm running Dark Pulse over Psychic is primarily because I feel like it just is better for the mirror and certain matchups. Having that bait move is actually it kind of adds up over time, saving that little bit of energy. But you'll kind of see some matches where it does matter. But anyways, this is kind of looking pretty decent. I think I decide to just kind of shield here and farm down, and they do switch out. I'm gonna throw a Shadow Ball on this Azu, thinking maybe I'll get a shield, but they don't. I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna stay in and throw another Shadow Ball, because the way I was looking at this is the Skarmory is really no threat to anyone on my team at this point. It's HP, and I can just line up Nidoqueen here after wasting the Azu's energy. And I didn't want to take an Ice Beam or whatever, so I just knock out this Azu before that's a threat. And it ends up being a Swampert here in the back. And I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang because I got a little nervous, but they end up trying to take advantage of the situation a little bit. They farmed a little bit extra. They're going to throw Hydro Cannon. And I bring in the Scrafty, and I'm pretty confident that I could just get to the foul play here and knock out the Swampert. And they shouldn't have probably switched out. I think it would have been really close because I'm pretty confident that like the Swampert could have potentially got to another Hydro and beat me. But they gave me that energy from switching into Skarmory, and I was able to get to that foul play. So I think maybe our opponent could have won that. In this battle, we get Nidoqueen. I'm just gonna stay in. I'm just like, this is my bait scenario. Like they don't want to take a Shadow Ball realistically, but I can bait with Dark Pulse. It's only 5 energy, I think less, but it, as you can see, like kind of like gets there faster over time too with the Shadow Claw. And at this point now, it's like Dark Pulse is actually kind of like scary. So we're gonna just take this because we know it's a poison. I mean, we already committed the shields, but it was pretty clear that was gonna be a Poison Fang. It couldn't have been an Earth Power. Yeah, so we win that lead, and I'm gonna try to switch out here. That was a little scary because the game has been lagging like this a lot lately. Yeah, I get a little tilted sometimes about it, but yeah, it's just the game, right? But fortunately for us, we are able to get this Poison Fang off, and we just have a decent matchup for the backline. Us being able to have Scrafty against Lantern is kind of nice. I'm going to actually go for a Power Punch because we kind of need to get the attack boost and go for a foul play. That's how we're going to win this match as fast as possible. And we do get hit by the Hydro. Fortunately for us, we can actually connect this foul play, and it will knock out Lantern. And it's pretty much game at that point. GG. Thankfully, like, the lag didn't really matter that much there, but there are matches where it has mattered. So I've gone, this is the first set I did, and I went 5-0 with it. Just wanted to show you that. And now we're going into our next set, and we get a Nidoqueen lead, and they're going to insta-swap to Gliscor, Shadow Gliscor actually. And I'm going to take the first Night Slash. I just want to see how much damage it does. I know that it has Night Slash, but I am a Coffin, which is super defensive, so I resist the Fury Cutter, and I'm just like kind of in a better situation because I tanked that first move, and now like we have the shield advantage, and they just let their Gliscor die. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna try to get a Shadow Ball off on this Nidoqueen. I thought this was probably just gonna be Poison Fang, so I wasn't gonna shield it, and thankfully I could just get to the Shadow Ball here and see if they're gonna shield or not. They decided to shield, great call, but now we can just line up our Nidoqueen with theirs, and yeah, I actually was pretty confident this was a Poison Fang, and pretty insane call on my end. So they bring in their Shadow Swampert, and I'm not messing around, I'm just switching direct to the Scrafty. I know I can take one Hydro Cannon, and all I have to do here is get a foul play off because it is a Shadow Swampert. And there we go, it's gonna pretty much knock out Swampert, pretty much, and then in comes the Nidoqueen, and they're just gonna quit because they know they're just gonna lose to the Nidoqueen when it comes in with the shield. Alright, so in this battle, we get an Umbreon lead, a little difficult, but I'm gonna just insta-swap to our Nidoqueen, and they switch to Galarian Stunfisk. I'm gonna throw an Earth Power right off the bat, I'm not gonna try to bait, and we do get the Stunfisk kind of low. I was thinking they're probably just gonna throw Earthquake here. They're probably not gonna try to bait at all, because it could be devastating if they did. I'm going to power up to the Earth Power, and then I thought maybe they'd try to shield this, and unfortunately that's not what happened, but it didn't really matter, I guess, because I was able to farm down crazy enough. So we win the switch, in comes the Umbreon again. I'm not going to shield this, because it's probably just a foul play, and I will just be barely able to live it. And I can get off a Poison Fang on it, which is huge on Umbreon, and I'm just going to throw another one, why not, you know? And it's crazy, look how much damage I'm just getting off on this Umbreon before it kills me finally. And obviously we're just going to bring in Scrafty here. They don't even know that we have a Scrafty, so I think they assumed I was going to bring in the Coffin, and it didn't work out because they threw a foul play, wasted it. And they bring in Ozzy. I'm going to insta-swap back to my Coffin. And at this point, I thought, I think I have a rather... This is still kind of difficult, but I'm going to try to bait the first move here with a Dark Pulse, and they do actually shield. So now I'm going to throw a Shadow Ball because I don't want to like mess around. And they shield again. So I was thinking I'm probably going to be able to live a move and get to another Shadow Ball. And I think this will be our game. But they actually make a crazy play. They switch to their Umbreon, and thankfully for me, I actually didn't throw my move, and I switched out Coffin. I completely farmed down Umbreon. I throw this foul play off on Ozzy, which is... Oh, this is all huge. Understand, like, this damage here, this actually created a win con for me, the way they switched, because they pretty much just gave me free energy. And I already had my Shadow Ball loaded, so this will knock out Ozzy. And that was the game. GG. Alright, so in this next battle, we get a Deoxys defense lead, which I'd say is pretty good for us, and they switch in Lickitung. We're just going to hard swap to Scrafty, which is a great matchup for us. We're not really too scared of the Lickitung. And I'm going to get off one Power Punch just to get like some boosted attacks in here, and then I'll probably just farm down for the most part. Yeah, I think I just take this move and farm it, because Lickitung's fast attacks aren't really doing a lot of damage to me. And I want to make sure to have some foul plays for this Deoxys defense as it comes back in. And these are boosted, so yeah, more than likely it's going to want to shield. So it shields the first one. I think it assumes this might be a power-up punch, so it doesn't shield the second, and it does a lot of damage. So we're going to bring back in the Coffin, which none of Deoxys defense moves really threaten me. So I don't even think I shield, and I just I'm going for a farm down with Shadow Claw. And they end up switching into their Umbreon, and instead of me throwing any moves with Coffin, I switch out into the Nidoqueen as fast as possible. I'm going to be shielding, and I'm just going to Poison Fang and farm this Umbreon down. And I was trying to make sure it wasn't a Psychic. I know I can take a foul play, so I'm going to let this one go through, knowing that it probably isn't Psychic. And there we go. I can get up another Poison Fang in this pretty much game, because the Poison Jab damage is just going to become too much for this Umbreon to deal with. So I think I just shield here and I farm it down. And then it's pretty much over. Actually, no, I decide I'm not messing around here. I'm just going to throw the Poison Fang, and yeah, it's pretty much game. I think I actually throw a Shadow Ball on Umbreon to finish this match. It was unneeded, but, you know, why not? GG. Alright, so this is crazy. This is actually kind of spicy. I kind of felt bad. They're using Shadow Lugia, and we just have like such a strong lead here because we can outpace the Lugia, and we're doing more damage. So we're gonna both commit a shield in this matchup, and then I'm just gonna be throwing these Dark Pulses. Again, this is another reason why the Dark Pulse is kind of great for the Coffin. And in comes Melmetal, and I was thinking I could have switched out to pretty much anything, but I decided just not to switch out and stay in, and I'll align my battle that way. And I throw a Shadow Ball, we get their last shield, and I think I decided to just bring in Nidoqueen. Which, the main reasoning being is none of Melmetal's moves are actually that threatening to Nidoqueen. And pretty much they might... Yeah, like, nothing here is like that threatening, so I don't have to shield anything, really. And they actually switch out. I'm going to throw Poison Fang on their Deoxys defense, which is pretty huge considering we have a shield. I'm just going to be able to get off a foul play easily. I'm not even going to shield the Deoxys defense because all of its moves I'm not really scared of. And pretty much as long as we have a shield for Melmetal, both of our Pokemon are going to be able to handle it. So yeah, that's pretty much game. They just top left. GG. Alright, in this next battle we get a Whiscash lead. This one's kind of difficult. I don't know, I didn't know what to do necessarily. I was trying to fill out this match because they bring in Sableye here, and I was like, oh, this is actually looking pretty decent for me, but I maybe should have, like... I think this is pretty decent so far. I feel like the Whiscash ends up being a nuisance in the end. So I knew they were going to throw return here, and I do shield that. It's pretty clear they're not going to shield this, but I guess I was thinking it would be nice to get the boost off. And they bring in the Skarmory, and in my mind right now, I'm like, oh wow, this is a great match for me so far, but I actually kind of forgot about the Wish Cache, because me saving my Nidoqueen as the main thing to deal with Wish Cache was actually like not the best case scenario for me. But you'll kind of see that, like, even though I'm like kind of messing up the Skarmory, and look, it's like kind of insane. Here, I think it kind of mattered. I probably should have just thrown a Power Up Punch. You'll see how close this is, but I bring in my Nidoqueen, and I still thought like maybe there's a chance I could win, but I should have just gone for Earth Power here, because they weren't going to shield and I could live a Mud Bomb. And if I would have just gone for the Earth Power, I could have definitely won this match. But I don't know, I guess it didn't work out in that favor for me. Like, I just, little things like not getting the Power Up Punch damage off, and I mean, Power Up Punch, yeah, look how close it was. If we would have got even just the Power Up Punch damage off instead of just trying to go for the foul play, I would have won that battle. If I would have just gone for Earth Power and been more patient with Nidoqueen, which is a thing about playing Nidoqueen, you want to be a little patient with it sometimes if you really want to optimize how good it is. But yeah, I went 4-1 that set, great game. In this next battle, this is our third set, I get a regular Stunfisk lead, and I'm just going to stay in. I'm not really too scared of the moves, and I think I'm going to try to bait, because I don't know, maybe they will think I'm just going to throw a Shadow Ball, and they make a great call and they just don't shield. So yeah, our next move will be a little threatening. I decided to just like shield once to kind of like put the pressure on this Stunfisk to have to shield or something, and they actually just don't shield at all. And at this point we can just kind of farm down. In comes a Nidoqueen, and I'm just gonna throw Shadow Ball. I'm not even gonna like try to bait with the Dark Pulse anymore. And they throw a Poison Fang, which I assumed was what they were doing. And I think what I decided to do is switch out to my Nidoqueen. And they end up bringing in Marowak, a lone Marowak, excuse me. I'm going to throw an Earth Power here. We're going to get a shield. I should have just tried to bait, but I don't know. I just didn't want to risk it. I was thinking to myself, well, if we can get the shields even, we do have Scrafty here, and we still have the Coffin. So we're not in the worst case scenario. Yeah, I'm not going to shield any of this. I'm going to bring in Scrafty, and we're going to go straight for a foul play here. Because in my mind, if we can get this shield, that would be huge. And they end up switching a Nidoqueen, which in a way is kind of decent also still for us, because we just get rid of the Nidoqueen entirely. And in comes the Marowak again. I think this time I decided to shield, and it is a Bone Club. I'm going to throw this foul play, and it does connect, because they just decide that, I guess they just decide they can't win the match at that point. So in the next match, we do get an Altaria lead, which is kind of iffy, but we're going to just try to get some shields here, if anything, or deal as much damage as we possibly can. So I'm going to commit the shield to make them think I'm trying to nuke them, and I'm going to power up a bunch, but then I'm just going to go straight for a Dark Pulse to see if we can get a shield or not here. And we actually don't get a shield, but now I'm just going to double Dark Pulse and see if this will get the shield. And we do get a shield that way, and they end up switching out for some reason into a lone Marowak, and I'm already adding another Dark Pulse for the Marowak gets move off, and now I'm actually going to switch in Scrafty because they have no shields, and none of Marowak's moves are that threatening, but this one actually has Flame Wheel, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm going to throw Foul Play. It won't knock out, but I will be... I thought like I could farm down here, but at this point I'm like, yeah, we're just going to have to like take this Flame Wheel, and it does seem like, yeah, we can actually still just farm down. So we have energy, but I'm already like clicking on Foul Play, and they actually bring Scrafty, great call. And I should have just gone double Power Punch here, realistically, but I just panic through a move. And now I'm going to bring a Nidoqueen here on the Scrafty. And I think this is quite okay, because kind of crazy, I make an amazing switch, and I just waste all of this Scrafty's energy. I'm going to farm down the Scrafty. I think I know I can take a move, and they end up throwing Power Up Punch, which was pretty clutch, because I knew the Altaria had energy. And we can shield the Sky Attack. I'm just going to throw Poison Fang to remove this Altaria. because I know that we can just, yeah, farm down Scrafty. GG. Alright, so in our next match, we get a Galarian Stunfisk lead. The one thing I like about running the Coffin is just how, like, obviously there's some bad matchups. We've had some bad leads, but it has a lot of very neutral matchups. Like, even this one, like, Earthquake's gonna hurt, but if we shield the Earthquakes, we're actually kind of in a good situation, because we're dealing more damage. And we're just gonna throw these Shadow Balls, and they don't shield the second one. And I'm just gonna like assume this is Earthquake, but I know I can take one of them and I'll be able to at least like, I didn't want to get hit by a Rock Slide, so I decided to just see if they'll shield or not here. And they actually just let it go, so I thought that was a good situation for us, even though they do get this little bit of energy lead. So because they have the energy lead, I don't want to bring in my Nidoqueen to match their Nidoqueen, so I'm just gonna bring in my Scrafty and know that they're probably just gonna go for a Poison Fang. And I'm going to take that first Poison Fang, and I'm just going to take the next one and just try to throw a Foul Play in hopes of getting the shield. And they don't shield, but now I'm just going to bring a Nidoqueen and think, maybe I can like farm down. And they're still trying to go for the Earth Power, and I'm able to get my Poison Fang off, which is kind of huge. But I make a crazy prediction that this is also Poison Fang, and I just don't shield, and it's just like insane. But yeah, this one's still kind of scary because Deoxys defense does actually have a pretty decent matchup here, especially with like Psycho Boost. But I'm going to try to just get off as much damage as I possibly can here. I'm trying to throw my Poison Fang, which will get a shield at this point, and I actually do switch into the Scrafty. And it's crazy because we can get to our Foul Play before I guess they can get to, maybe they didn't even have a real move to hit me with. But yeah, that's game. We only saw the Psycho Boost. Maybe it was Rock Slide Psycho Boost, but anyways, in this match we get a Poliwrath lead, and they insta-swap to Trevenant. A lot of very interesting teams, by the way. We have a lot of variety in this video. But I'm going to throw a move, Dark Pulse, and then I'm going to switch into Scrafty on the Trevenant, take the first Seed Bomb. I think I decided to take the second Seed Bomb as well. And I'm going to throw the Foul Play, wondering if they'll want to shield or not. I don't think they shield, they just let the Trevenant go. They're going to bring back in Poliwrath, and I'm just going to let it go, obviously. But I was going to just try to go to Power Punch and do as much damage as I possibly can before, you know, whatever. But they end up bringing in their Poliwrath and then Registeel. I'm going to insta-swap my Coffin into Nidoqueen. I'm going to just take the first move because I knew I could take one of the moves, Focus Blast or Zap Cannon. And they end up going for the Zap Cannon, which was kind of interesting. And now I'm going to probably, I think I end up double shielding. Oh no, wow, I make a crazy play and I'm just like, no, we don't need this. And it's crazy because I don't shield. And somehow the Focus Blast doesn't kill me. Maybe they under-tapped it. But yeah, actually kind of a crazy match when I look back at it. Like, played that pretty risky, but I guess I was just assuming at that range I could just farm down Registeel with Shadow Claw from the Coffin and have a nice amount of energy to deal with Poliwrath in the end. So I'm just going to shield this, and I had it, if it was Scald, I mean, who knows what its moveset was? It could have been a fighting move, so maybe Ice Punch was the only thing it could hit me with. But I could have lived an Ice Punch. I just didn't want to risk it. GG. Alright, this is a spicy team. So we get a Shadow Marsh Stomp, and I was pretty confident that I could just take a Surf, and then we'll pretty much win purely just because we can like still outpace this thing. But because we can take one of its moves, even though it gets its moves faster, we will be able to win just because we have more bulk in general. So yeah, we can shield now. And now we're going to throw another Dark Pulse. So now they're going to be down both their shields because they want this Marsh Stomp to do something. And I'm going to commit my shield, but now I'll get to my Dark Pulse before they can get to another Surf. And I'm just going to knock out the Marsh Stomp. And that is the lead down. And in comes a Nidoqueen, a Shadow Nidoqueen, excuse me. But I'm going to bring in Scrafty. This is like a typical thing of like how I'm going to play against other Nidoqueens when they have energy leads on me, especially when I have no shields. And we just bring it in, we take the first Poison Fang. Fortunately, we can actually get to a Foul Play before we have to take another Poison Fang, and I make the crazy switch into a Poison Fang, which allows me to kind of, I think, secure the win here. I could have maybe gotten to an Earth Power there. I don't know, like maybe they only farmed a bit because they saw that I threw a Poison Fang, but I was able to get to another Poison Fang, which I thought was absurd. And now they're going to throw a Stone Edge. Maybe it's Sludge Bomb, Stone Edge, and now I'm like farming this Quagsire, and it's pretty much game because of that. Pretty insane battle, actually. GG. Alright. I think that was another 5-0 there. GG's, trainers. And this will be the final set of the day. Also, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing if you've enjoyed this so far. It does help my content reach a wider audience here on YouTube. And in this next battle, this one's just tough all around. I kind of like just didn't have much of an answer for Pidgeot. I decided to just kind of stay in, and instead of shielding the Brave Bird, I just end up dying, which is, if we shielded the Brave Bird, I feel like maybe we could have done a little bit more there for sure. But definitely puts us in a kind of a bad situation because they have this Deoxys defense in there now, and we're kind of afraid of it. They do make a great call, and they're patient, and they throw the Thunderbolt. We're going to throw Foul Play, and they do shield. So now we're kind of screwed though, just because we already, like, taking that Thunderbolt, we should have probably shielded something here. And they make a great call, and they don't fall for the Power Up Punch bait. So now we're going to have to shield because Psycho Boost will hurt, and they do have Medicham here in the back line. So yeah, this match, even though we had a really bad lead, I feel like maybe if we just like shielded or played a little bit different, we could have had a better fighting chance. But yeah, it's a really difficult line. I will shield this, and yeah, pretty much I think we can't win because they have that they have another Psycho Boost on the Deoxys. So there's different points in the game where maybe if we would have just shielded, we could have, you know, maybe done or changed the momentum of like certain matchups. Like getting rid of the Deoxys defense would have been kind of nice. But in this battle, the next one, we get a Medicham lead, which is really good for our Coffin, and they bring in a Shadow Drapion. We kind of make a slow swap, but we do bring in our Scrafty. I mean, it's always hard to know what the better switch in on a Drapion is, because it could be running Aqua Tail, Crunch, Sludge Bomb. It's hard that, you know, who knows. But this one does have Sludge Bomb, and fortunately we are able to kind of just like farm this thing down. They don't make any shields. And in comes the Medicham again. The thing is, I wasn't really too worried about Medicham because I felt like we just hard walled it, and even taking a Psychic to the face, it's not that bad. But they do throw Ice Punch, and in comes the Registeel. So we're just going to switch into our Nidoqueen, and I think I just don't shield the first move, and is Focus Blast. It does over half, and we are going to throw the Earth Power. So they do shield, and I think we shield the next one too. But we do get up another Earth Power, which is really nice because we are going to get both shields. And I think oh wait, I actually just let it go. Okay, so I just let it go. And I'm going to throw Shadow Ball on this Registeel. I guess I just thought like I could shield this and like farm it at this point. I think that's what I was assuming. Yeah, because I got a little bit of extra energy here on Medicham. I throw the Shadow Ball, even at the minus attack from Zap Cannon. I'm still going to be able to... Oh, if it has Psychic, actually, then that's bad. But it doesn't, so fortunately for us, we are going to be able to just win the match. Because even if Registeel came in, we'd outpace it to a Shadow Ball. Alright, so this next match, kind of a bad lead for us, for sure. We get the Obstagoon. I'm going to insta-swap to Nidoqueen, and they bring in a Shadow Politoed. So I'm going to throw Poison Fang on this Politoed, and they don't shield, and I thought that's kind of good for us because now we can kind of shield a Weather Ball and just farm it down. And even if I have the double commit shield, I'm just going to farm this Politoed. I thought maybe getting the defense drops would be huge, and they bring in Azumarill. I guess they're trying to preserve that Obstagoon for the Coffin, and yeah, this is pretty bad for their Ozzy because we're just gonna like pretty much farm it down before it does anything. And now they bring in the Obstagoon. And it doesn't really matter if they have 2 shields, because we're just going to line up Scrafty with the Ops again. They're probably going to try to get like a boost or something off, but yeah, obviously having like a fighter in the back line just kind of messes up their entire game plan. So yeah, we are able to pull off the win there, GG. Alright, in this next battle we get another Medicham lead. These are really nice to have, these Medicham leads. Just like such a safe lead for us. And they decided to bring in Galarian Stunfisk. We're just going to throw a Shadow Ball right off the bat. We don't want to like mess around, especially having that lead. And now I'm going to bring in Scrafty, knowing that Scrafty doesn't really have a great matchup with Medicham. So we're just like not going to shield at all, and we're going to farm down the Stunfisk here. And they will just, they'll just throw Rock Slide. So we made some great calls just not to shield. And now we have 2 foul plays ready for Medicham. So I'm just going to throw both foul plays, and it will connect. And we'll see if we can connect the second one. I don't think they shield either of them. Okay, no, they do shield the second. So that's kind of nice. We get a shield, and we can just bring in the Coffin again. I think this opponent throws Psychic, and it does do a decent chunk on the Coffin, but we're just not going to shield. And they do end up having Azu here, and I'm just going to switch in my Nidoqueen. And we do have 2 shields, so we're absolutely going to win this matchup. I'm going to shield the Ice Beam, throw the first Poison Fang, and then we can pretty much just like farm this Azu down. And I think that's what we do. We just farm it, and then we throw Poison Fang on the Medicham. And that's pretty much going to be game, because we still have the Coffin in the back, and yeah. I think I just shield here, and then I farm down with Nidoqueen. GG, trainer. Yeah, this is a really fun team to play, honestly. I was just like shocked at how well it was doing. Okay, so this is a great reason why Dark Pulse. I mean, I feel like this person has to be running Psychic. But we're still going to tie to the first move, and they do win CMP, so they're led to think that they're going to like win this lead probably. But we do get the bait as well, and now we're actually going to outpace the other Coffin, especially because it's clear they're not running Dark Pulse. And I'm going to switch out here into my Scrafty, because I know none of their moves really are that threatening, and they end up staying in. So we got both their shields, and this could have been a huge mistake on my end if they had like a Charmer or a great switch into Scrafty, but it seems like they don't. And they end up bringing in a Lapras, which, as you can tell, is just great for our Scrafty. So I'm just going to throw the foul play because it does the most damage, and I don't know, I'm just going to let it go. I thought maybe it'd be good to keep Scrafty, but then I just thought I could get an energy lead with Nidoqueen no matter what they have. We probably have a great matchup, and they end up just top lefting, so GG. And I think that was a 4-1 for our final set of this video. So yeah, I really appreciate you checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, definitely let me know what you thought in the comments below. But with that being said, the Sass Squad is getting stronger each and every day. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you're tuning in.